Welcome to our group presentation. This is the Introduction to CAPS and Diversity in the Classroom. The Curriculum and Assessment Policy Statement, also known as CAPS, is a framework that guides teaching and learning in South African classrooms. It is developed by the Department of Basic Education. CAPS provides detailed guidelines for educators on what content to teach, how to teach it, and how to assess the learner's understanding. CAPS aims to ensure consistency and quality in education across South Africa, promoting standardization while allowing for flexibility in teaching approaches. The implementation of CAPS supports the goals of the National Curriculum Statement, which emphasizes the holistic development of learners, including academic, social, and emotional growth. The importance of considering diversity in the classroom. Every student brings unique backgrounds, abilities, and learning styles. Diversity influences teaching strategies and classroom dynamics. Addressing diversity ensures equitable access to education and promotes inclusive learning environments. The impact of diversity on teaching strategies. Use culturally responsive teaching practices to incorporate students' cultural backgrounds into the curriculum. Flexible grouping strategies to support collaboration and peer learning among diverse student groups. Use of varied instructional materials and resources to cater to different learning modalities and preferences. Assessment strategies that are fair, valid, and inclusive, considering diverse students' abilities, experiences, and cultural contexts.
Next part of the assignment is understanding diversity and various aspects of diversity. Diversity in the classroom refers to the presence of a wide range of student backgrounds, experiences, cultures, abilities, and perspectives within the learning environment. Classroom diversity encompasses variations in social identities. An individual social identity includes factors such as age, race, gender identity, gender expression, disability, and nationality. Honoring the distinct attributes of students embraces diversity in the classroom and fosters an inclusive environment where all students feel appreciated and encouraged. Educators have a vital role in establishing inclusive learning atmospheres, ensuring that all students are esteemed, honored, and empowered to achieve their utmost potential. When diversity is incorporated into your lesson plan, it will automatically give learners freedom and flexibility to make learning easy. Various aspects of diversity. Students have diverse learning styles, preferences, and abilities. Recognizing and accommodating these differences help meet the individual needs of students and enhance their learning outcomes. Socioeconomic diversity refers to variances in income, educational attainment, employment types, and security and stability of housing among students and families. Cultural diversity includes nationality, values, and cultural practices. Cultural diversity acknowledges the vast array of backgrounds and identities that individuals may have. Linguistic diversity refers to the different language usage, dialects, accents, and communication styles. Learning style diversity acknowledges that individuals have different preferences, strengths, and approaching to learning.
Overview of the key components of the CAPS document. The learning objectives would specify the solar system related learning objectives learners must meet by the conclusion of 7th grade. The content scope will include all of the specific materials that must be presented in the natural curriculum section on the solar system, as example, defining and analyzing, explain and describe, methods of teaching and learning. There will be a focus on teaching and learning methodologies that help learners understand ideas related to their solar system. For example, activities for inquiry-based learning, hands-on exercises, multimedia resources, and promoting critical thinking and developing conceptual comprehension. The overview of the key components of the CAPS document continue. Guidelines for assessment. CAPS provide guidelines for evaluating students' solar system knowledge and comprehension. For example, rubrics, formative assessments, and summative evaluation techniques. The purpose of CAPS document provide learners with the knowledge, skills, and values needed to fulfill their potential, aiding learners transfer from educational institutions to the workplace, giving employers a sufficient picture of a learner's competencies, allowing access to higher education. CAPS document addresses the inclusion of diverse learners and supported differentiated instruction. Inclusion should be a key component of all schools' operation, including planning, organizing, and instructing. Inclusion of diverse learners, for example, multimodal instruction and accessibility, and the support differentiated instruction is that the effective management of inclusion requires a support system, and teachers need to offer a range of assignments when assigning projects or assessments. In conclusion, according to Goosen, the curriculum differentiation should give every learner the opportunity to learn and grow, even when some learners are slower than others. The teacher is responsible to use the curriculum differentiation to help each learner to reach their full potential.
The development of an annual teaching plan based on a CAPS document includes the following. Determine the scope and schedule. Begin by reading the CAPS document for Grade 7 Natural Science, which contains the required content, learning objectives, and evaluation criteria for the specific topic. Think about where it fits in the curriculum. Determine the scope and the order. Arrange using terms. As in CAPS, divide the academic year into 4 terms. When choosing the date for the solar system lesson, make sure it fits within the general framework for the grade 7 curriculum. Lastly, divide up subjects into smaller topics, for example, into weeks. The instructional strategies and material, like assessments, will help you teach your topic. You can evaluate and adjust the topic throughout the school year.
Ways you can adjust to consider these learners' styles and abilities are visual learners. Use charts, films, and visuals to demonstrate topics such as planetary orbits and distance. Develop visual aids such as cards containing images and important terms. Secondly, auditory learners. Use auditory aspects such as podcasts and debates, and encourage learners to discuss concepts verbally to a friend or to the entire class. Kinesthetic learners include hand-on lessons such as creating solar system replicas of planetary motion using physical objects. Lastly, writing and leading learners provide written resources such as assignments, textbooks, readings, research tasks, and encourage participants to take notes about the lesson's topic. Adaptable grouping contains the following. Assemble learners into groups and encourage them to learn from one another. You can do this with collaborative assignments and peer instructions. The integration of technology. Make use of technology by using dynamic simulations, assistive technology, and digital tools. Lastly, the comprehensive evaluation by adapting examinations. You can use other formats for assessments. Give extra time and adjustments and use diverse assessment types. Adaptable grouping contains the following. Assemble learners
Inclusive teaching strategies and examples that cater to diverse learners and promote diversity. The first strategy is having a classroom environment that promotes a sense of safety, care, and support. Create a space in which students can express themselves and feel respected. So, a classroom that respects the students' psychological, physical, emotional, and mental differences. For example, use Bloom's taxonomy when setting tests to cater towards all levels of cognition. Create a debate where all students can express themselves. Have a stress ball for students who have ADHD. The second strategy is knowing your students. A teacher needs to know the impairments of their students. This will give teachers a better understanding and be able to accommodate them effectively. For example, have larger text on test papers for those with eye impairments, use group work to help those with autism make friends, and use low technology instead of a PowerPoint for if a student has epilepsy. The third strategy is building relationships with your students. This strategy refers to building rapport, empathy, and harmony. This will help teachers become more understanding and sensitive to diversity. For example, always use a rubric to ensure the marking is fair. At the end of the day, ask every student for feedback on how their day went. Arrange the desks in a way that promotes rapport and harmony, such as in a circle. The fourth strategy is behavior management. Use classroom management in a way that every student will feel safe and respected. These rules need to be enforced consistently to create a safe and just environment. Appropriate behavior management makes every student feel equally valued. For example, if a student is being academically dishonest, discipline them appropriately. Go around the classroom and ask each student to add a rule and consequence on the board. And print out these rules and stick them around the classroom. The fifth strategy is creating opportunities for students to talk. Teachers must listen to their students' problems, conflicts, struggles, and concerns. This will help guide teachers into resolving these issues. This helps to cater towards diversity and inclusivity as you are giving all students a voice. For example, have evaluations in which students give feedback, have group discussions, have a question box so that students can express any of their concerns anonymously. The sixth strategy is to install a sense of confidence and assertiveness in all students. Teachers must encourage all students to work hard. They must be motivating, inspiring, and enthusiastic so that all students, regardless of their abilities, feel confident. For example, provide helpful comments on past papers. When teaching, use positive reinforcement and use a star chart. The seventh strategy is providing accessibility. This refers to ensuring that all students have access to the necessary resources. Students with any physical disabilities need to be accommodated. For example, if a student has hand or muscle impairments, have a scribe for them. Have activities in which they can use their voice and give answers verbally instead of written. And ask the school to provide wheelchairs and other assistive devices. The eighth strategy is diversifying course material. This refers to using teaching strategies that cater towards the different learning styles of all students. For example, use visuals, written sources, and graphs in tests. Create a worksheet in which students need to build something. Use multiple LTSMs, PowerPoints, textbooks, videos, and music. The last strategy is advocating for inclusivity and diversity. This refers to promoting the importance of inclusivity and appreciating diversity. For example, pair students up for a group project. Represent different groups of people in your LTSMs and place posters around the classroom that advocates for acceptance and kindness.
Assessment and evaluation happen throughout the four themes in the CAPS document: solar energy and the Earth seasons. The learners will create a globe model. They will demonstrate the path of the Earth around the Sun, and students will need to label and illustrate diagrams demonstrating the Earth tilt and the direction of the sunlight that cause four seasons. The second theme is stored solar energy. Students are required to create a visual representation to demonstrate the transfer of energy. Students will need to illustrate, label, and explain how energy from the sun is stored in coal, gas, and oil. The third theme, relative positions. Learners must demonstrate the pull of gravity. And the last theme, tides. Learners will use a diagram to illustrate the effect of the moon's gravity on Earth, especially tides. Learners will use writing to explain the effect of gravity on the ecosystem on Earth. According to the CAPS document, learners should read, write, draw, and do practical tasks regularly. It is important to keep record of evidence such as assessments. Regular class tests and practicals should be conducted and constructive feedback should be provided to students. The final 2 weeks of the term should be utilized for reviewing and revising the course material. Marks allocation according to the CAPS document equals 100%. The practical task for term 4 counts 20 marks, a project of 30 marks. These two count 40% towards the total mark. Exam on term 3 and 4 count 70 marks. The exam has a total weight of 60%. Strategies for fair and equitable assessment considering the diverse needs of students. To cater to the different learning styles of learners, it is essential to use a variety of assessment methods. For example, use practical assessments, writing, and oral assessments that cater for all learning styles. Having a clear, well-formulated instructions and rubric can reduce anxiety and ensure that students understand what is expected of them. After assessments, provide constructive feedback to learners and give them the opportunity to revise their work based on feedback. This helps learners to learn from their mistakes. To provide appropriate accommodation for students with disability in compliance with all relevant laws and policies. For instance, some students may require additional time during assessments and certain adjustments to the assessment format may be necessary to accommodate their needs.
The first case study is about Leona. Leona is a 7-year-old girl that is very sociable and she lives with her grandparents in a small town. She got diagnosed with ADHD, but her family does not have medical aid, so they cannot provide her with medication. The diagnosis explains why her grades have been dipping, and she gets easily distracted and then starts to disrupt her peers in the lesson, especially if it's teacher-centered. The appropriate teaching strategy and modification that will help Leona is to become a more student-centered classroom and not only relying on PowerPoint presentations. The teacher can also incorporate physical activity that will allow Leona the freedom to move around to get rid of some of that extra energy. Roderick is a 10-year-old boy that attends Growth Primary School in a well-known city. He lives with his parents and siblings in a very loving home. He has recently shown signs of delayed learning and does not want to tell his parents or ask for help out of fear of being bullied by his family and friends. He especially struggles with sciences subjects because it classifies as a study subject that requires of him to know and understand all of the concepts. The teaching strategy that would help Roderick would be to first of all go to the head of the grade and involve the parents. In class time, the teacher can break down difficult concepts into smaller bite-sized parts so that Roderick also learns and understands. The teacher can also offer peer assistance and place him relatively close to the board so that he does not get distracted or demotivated by other students who may work and understand content at a faster pace.
Reflection on the challenges and opportunities of implementing the annual teaching plan in a diverse classroom. Challenges. Language barriers can make it difficult for students to understand and communicate effectively. Students with special needs may require additional support and resources to ensure their success. Managing classroom dynamics and creating an inclusive environment for every student can be difficult. Cultural differences can play a role in student engagement and participation. Opportunities. Enhancing teamwork and social skills, collaboration among students from diverse backgrounds can be beneficial. Empathy, understanding, and respect among students can be promoted through inclusive practices. Personalized learning experience can be achieved through different instruction to each student. Summary of the key takeaways and the importance of ongoing reflection and adaptation. As educators, it's crucial to recognize the significance of embracing diversity in the classroom. Emphasize the role of ongoing reflection and adaptation in improving our teaching practices and meeting the needs of diverse learners. We should understand the need for differentiated instruction to cater to the varying needs of our students. It's important to acknowledge the impact of culture, language, and learning style on teaching and learning. As educators, we value inclusivity and strive to create a welcoming environment for all our students. The importance of ongoing reflection and adaptation. Teachers should reflect and adapt their teaching strategies and classroom dynamics to improve learning outcomes and create an inclusive environment.